So Dolph, you just never know what's going to happen. Fans everywhere coming out. They're here at First Watch, wanting to meet Dolph Ziggler.
Sure.
What's it been like? You've been in the business, well, with WWE for about 15 years now. What's that journey like, and where are you at your point? What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do now?
It's funny. Every couple of years, the goals change, and the business changes, and my outlook on it changes. The one aspect my entire career has been a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, just always wanting to be the best, but that's everybody in the locker room. And if there's 60 people, superstars, that want to be champion and think they should be champion, and there can only be one or two, you have to, it sucks, but there's this aspect of it being in Hollywood to where it's show business. Sometimes the best people aren't the champion at that time. Sometimes they are. Sometimes people better than you are in a worse spot. I know a bunch of wrestlers who are way better than I am that sit in the back and don't always get a chance to be on television. I've been very lucky to stay pretty consistent for about 15 years on television. So you never know when your break will happen. You never know how the timing's going to work. Many times people have been, I was doing nothing and someone got hurt and I stepped right into a world title match. So to be a utility player like that, it's great to have that and know that you can always be plugged in anywhere at any time. But it's also a punch in the stomach to not be the guy. So I think that's, if I was 3 inches taller, maybe I'd be a 10-time world champion, but maybe I wouldn't be working as hard, and because it was kind of handed to me. So I don't know. The way I see it, I love that I came in not as a legacy. I wasn't anyone's friend. I didn't have somebody vouch for me. I didn't wrestle the independents. I came to WWE as a fan, and I will leave as one of the best ever, I think.
You started off really with Spirit Squad and took that, which was a comedic group, parlayed that into a singles career.
Sure.
And made yourself a serious wrestler who entertains, sports entertainer. But it's interesting because Kofi Kingston is now the WWE champion, and it took Kofi a long time. And you've been a champion. You've been several times different types of champion. You've worn championship belts. But how inspiring is it for others in the locker room, or even yourself, to see a Kofi Kingston rise to the top and get his due after 11 years?
It's pretty cool because I'm someone who fought Kofi for, of those 11 years, probably 9 of them. Most of the time we were opponents. We used to joke about having a best of 500 series. And at the time, we were fighting over the Intercontinental title, the US title, back and forth, but a lot of times in that era, we didn't talk. We didn't have microphone time. There wasn't character stuff. There was matches, and there was winners and losers, and we went to a pay-per-view match, usually to be a rubber match between us. And now it's a different time. Kofi and New Day have done such great things that people backstage are rooting for them as much as the crowd is. And the last year where Kofi Mania caught on, I was on a hiatus. I was doing some other things, and I was excited for Kofi. And when I'm gone, I don't watch the show. I like to say that, I'm not watching or caring, but I am, and I stay in some group chats to know what's going on. But also, I was into Kofi Mania, and then genuinely, when I came back, I was absolutely jealous of what Kofi had done, because in a positive way. Like, I'm jealous of it. I wish that was me, and we kind of went along with me actually doing my true feelings on television, to where you're great, Kofi. I want you to be champion for years, but that should be me right now. And we used that, and actually, which made it better than just, hi, I'm Dolph Ziggler, I'm gonna fight you now, and you're like, why? So there's sometimes we don't answer that question, but in this case, we did very much.
It's an interesting concept too, because that's such an important aspect of it, is why are we doing this?
Right.
And that lends itself.
You want to fight, sure, but when someone like Kofi and I have known each other for so long, it's great. I'm aware enough to go, I'm jealous that you're the champion. You had a match at WrestleMania and won the championship. I've done none of those things. It kills me. This is why we can fight, and this is why we can be more layers to having a reason and a story to fight.
And it gives you that goal too of having that singles match at WrestleMania and reaching for something else. Yeah. It's interesting too, we have the SmackDown live show tonight, Tuesday, July 23rd, at the American Airlines Arena, 8 o'clock USA Network, also 205 Live. You've got double main event, WWE champ, we're just speaking of him, Kofi Kingston, versus Samoa Joe, versus someone else. Wait a second, who else?
Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler, that's who else.
My name last, as in like higher up. Like if it's the moniker there it's all about me, which is great. But that's all. We have a double main event without our show even being mentioned. So you have 205 Live. We don't know what's going to happen on SmackDown for those 2 hours. Then you have that double main event, which by the way, the other match is Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns, and these are all set to go no matter what, plus whatever happens on the fly for SmackDown.
That's it, which is really good. Oh, good. The
Lovely.
food, the breakfast is starting.
Look how great that is. You want some?
Breakfast with Ziggler. This is awesome. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I know you think.
I'm going to just... So, Dolph, what did you get here? What do we got?
I think it is, let's see, it's quinoa and a bunch of veggies and avocado and chicken, I believe.
All right, so very
similar.
healthy.
Yeah, very healthy.
Very healthy.
Usually at home I make a bowl, but it's Cocoa Puffs. And I only do that because when I was growing up I was never allowed to have it. So we had Cheerios, and my cousins got to have like the Boo Berry and the Frankenberry stuff. But we had regular Cheerios, and then when we got a little spoiled, we had apple cinnamon Cheerios.
Ah, you got
Honey
a little
Nut
flavor.
Cheerios.
Honey Nut Cheerios.
Later down the line, multigrain, those are the good ones. No big deal.
Yeah. Hey, you got to go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. I mean, come on.
Once in a while, I would at my cousin's house, I would eat an entire box of Fruity Pebbles just to see what it was like.
Frankenberry was good too.
Man, how good were those? The milk was like a milkshake.
All right, so that's it. With Breakfast with Ziggler, that's what you got. It's just a crazy, unbelievable show tonight. Fans always have a good time. Special appearance and guest commentary by Shawn Michaels. So that'll be cool tonight as well, especially after last night's big Raw reunion special in Tampa, which Tampa is hosting WrestleMania.
Yeah.
First time ever. You've been a Tampa resident.
Yep.
What are your thoughts of Tampa hosting WrestleMania for the first time?
I think it's pretty amazing. It's become this vision of how a Super Bowl shops around, and you don't just try and find a city that wants to be involved the most. You want to find a place where wrestling is key and wrestling has a history, and then all the fans are there, and then it's somewhere great and fun for the fans to come. So this is a perfect way to do it, and they had that cool reunion yesterday. SmackDown Live, we were busy, we had our own live event in Fort Myers, but the fact that that's a little teaser of what you could get at WrestleMania is pretty awesome.
All right, we're going to start eating breakfast here,
Yeah.
and then we'll do the breakfast and then finish up, and we'll do some comedy talk. I really want to get some comedy talk in, which this man, comedian, unbelievable. You go from one sports entertainment avenue to another entertainment avenue, and there's some parallels with stand-up comedy and also sports entertainment, pro wrestling.
So, yeah, there's the travel schedule, the constantly trying to be better, the things on the fly, and you bring that back to make that work for you the next time, just constantly trying to catch that buzz of making someone react, making someone laugh, entertaining. And I've been very lucky so far to just keep adding on to shows all through grassroots movements and being a WWE guy and social media. It's been pretty cool.